Please welcome Deepti Doshi, Director of Community Partnerships at Facebook, in conversation with Facebook community leaders Christian Delachey, Latasha Morrison, Noah Naziali-Kadima, Paula Pfeiffer-Moreira, and Adunika Prakash.
So hi everybody, I'm Deepti. I lead the Community Partnerships team at Facebook. We started this team last year when we changed the mission of the company, which some of you may know. So Facebook's mission today is now to help people, to give people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. And we really believe that it is community leaders like the ones it is who share the stage with me here today who are really making this mission come to life. And my team's job is to be able to support them with the products it is that we build at Facebook, but also what we hear is that there just isn't enough infrastructure to be able to support individuals who are taking responsibility to build communities and solve problems. And so our team also builds a set of programs to be able to support you. And today we're really excited to be able to announce that one of our programs, the Facebook Community Leadership Program, we're excited to announce the winners of that program, and these 5 will be the residents of that program, each of whom will be awarded with up to $1 million to be able to support their community's growth. And so we've had the pleasure of hanging out for the last couple days, and really I went to bed last night feeling both inspired and really at peace that some of the big problems it is that we're here to talk about over the course of this week at UNGA are ones it is that you guys are tackling head on and galvanizing, I think in total millions of people to be able to solve. And what I find really inspiring about the work it is that we get to do every day is seeing ordinary people with the use of Facebook tools just step up and take leadership in the most unexpected ways. Adunika, your story for how you created breastfeeding support for Indian mothers is really just that, where you were struggling with the personal problem yourself and now have created a community that's providing support to over 80,000 women all over the world. So can you tell us a little bit more about what that experience was like?
Hi everyone, I'm Adunika Prakash. I'm the founder of Breastfeeding Support for Indian Mothers, as Deepti's already said that. We are 80,000 members strong now, and it actually really just started with me feeling very, very lonely one night and breastfeeding my son, and I felt that I lacked this community, a village that I wanted to speak to. I wanted to connect with other people who are in a similar journey, having the same troubles. Because normally the pictures you see of people breastfeeding is these happy pictures, dotingly looking at their babies and hair all well done. But that's really very far from reality. Most new moms would say that their hair is messed up, they have spit-ups on their clothes, and sometimes poop as well. And it's a really lonely journey. So when I started Breastfeeding Support for Indian Mothers, it was just to have that community for people to feel that you're not alone when you're in this journey. We're all here with you. And a lot of breastfeeding parents usually felt that they didn't have enough milk supply. And at this current point of time, I think there's no breastfeeding parent who's felt that, I don't think I make enough. So they would come on that community and say, you know what, I think I have low milk supply. How do I check if I'm making enough? And that's what we really helped out with. We told them these are the parameters that you need to check to make sure that you're making enough milk. And that's what brought us all together. And we kept telling each other, this too shall pass, and your kids will grow up soon, and your hair will be in place again before you know it, and you'll be sleeping through the night, okay, maybe in 19 years, but So so from there we've grown. We've had meetups in 12 cities across 3 countries, and we're trying to increase our offline presence. And I want to actually target more rural communities now because we have people who are on Facebook, but I want to grow this and reach out to more people. So that's my story. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And you talk a lot about the village, that you believe that no matter what, you can get a lot of advice from doctors or even medication to help, but really it's that community, that village of support it is that you need to kind of be able to get through the breastfeeding journey. And Paula, you talk about the same. As somebody who has a hearing disability, that technology plays such an important role to create that sense of a village, and particularly in removing some of the physical barriers it is that people with disabilities, specifically hearing disabilities, have to overcome in order to be able to better connect with one another. And your group addresses that. So can you tell all of us kind of how you've been able to build community through using Facebook?
Sure. Hi guys, I am Paula from Brazil. I lead a community called Crônicas da Surdez, Chronicles of Deafness in English. We are deaf people who use technology to hear again, such as hearing aids or cochlear implants. And so we are called surdos que ouvem, hearing deaf in English. For me, hearing loss is the major public health issue worldwide. So we face a lot of challenges. Disability is one of them, because people in media believe that a deaf person can't talk, can't hear, and that sign language is mandatory for a deaf person. And this is not true. There is diversity into deafness. So technology is the superpower of people with disabilities. I am profoundly deaf. I can't hear even a bomb, but I am here today talking to you and listening to you thanks to technology. I have 2 bionic ears, 2 cochlear implants. So that's why I am here today. And I believe technology allows us to build and rebuild our connections with other people. Ellen Keller said, blindness separates us from things, but deafness separates us from other people. Everything is communication. So technology is changing our life these days, and this is so amazing. Facebook is an amazing tool for that because it connects us online, and then we can connect offline. And this is changing thousands of lives of people with hearing loss in Brazil.
Awesome, thank you. And both of your communities saw kind of incredible growth. You started for a personal reason, but then it grew really quickly. And Christian, your community has seen the same kind of rapid growth. Having just moved from Paris to San Francisco recently, almost all the people it is that I knew in Paris knew of your community Wanted, and 1/6 of the people in Bordeaux are actually in your community. And so I'm really curious for you to share kind of how, as an individual who just started this group, how do you sustain it? How do you maintain the growth in a way that's not just about the numbers, but really about the value it provides to people?
Yeah, exactly. So hello everyone, my name is Christian, and I co-founded a community based on solidarity and social cooperation. The community was founded on the idea that nothing should be solitary, but everything should be solidary. So this is our motto. So now we are organized in 82 Facebook groups, local Facebook groups, and we represent almost 1 million people, mainly in France. To answer to your question, it's really easy for me to manage a community and to build a community because you just have to share value in your community. For us, it's solidarity, and you just have to instilling it into your community because people will follow values. They will not follow leaders, or they will not do what they say. They just only follow the hope, the solidarity, the value that inspire them. So it's really easy. And the second thing you have to do, it's really important, and this is a nice part of our job, is to put some lights on our members, because they are ordinary people, but they are doing extraordinary things all the time. So for example, in our community, our members are daily thousands of selfless and empathic actions on a daily basis, and sometimes some miracles appear, as to find a job to a homeless in less than 48 hours, and to distribute 100 meals on a weekly basis to homeless and refugees in Paris. So it's really easy. And now our work is like the same work that Facebook is doing with us, is to put some light on them and to provide them the tool to accomplish their social initiatives. So we are building a network of physical places all around France, and we want to devote it to our members in order to help them to create and to perform social initiatives locally in France and maybe in all the world.
Awesome. And you'll notice that Christian said job like this, and I think that's one of the things that we're really trying to change, is that all of you felt as though this was like a side thing you were doing and was not actually a legitimate job. But what we see at Facebook is thousands of people stepping up to kind of address these critical problems, whether it's maternal health or hearing loss or just being able to connect with your neighbors. And we want to be able to institutionalize that really as a legitimate job. Noah, your vision for farmers is really similar to that. And the other thing it is that through our stories that you've shared is that you've really been able to bring kind of the same analytical quality that we use in the corporate world, or that as a nonprofit when we have monitoring and evaluation systems around our work, to really measure the health of a community, to know that your work is successful, and then to be able to adapt the strategies of community building accordingly. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
As you've heard, my name is Noah Nasiali. I founded a group called Africa Farmers Club that has a membership of 120,000 farmers across Africa, in 18 different countries in Africa. And here we share stories. And we don't just, it's not only about sharing stories, but it's the value that comes out from what the stories are all about. And what I have seen and what has been very helpful is that a statement by Peter Drucker. He said, if you can't measure, then you cannot manage. But now, if you don't measure, then you will not improve it. So using the Facebook group insights feature, it is one of the features that I go to almost like 5 to 6 to 10 times a day, because I'd like to know, what is this community? What is involved in my community? It has helped me to understand my community deeper. Where are the members? When are they available? What are they talking about? Who is active? Which region? And it has also helped me as I help farmers to be able to get market for their produce. I can be able to tell even the buyers that these farmers in this region are growing tomatoes, some are growing cabbages, and so that is a very powerful tool. And I'd like to share a story of one of the community leaders. I also sit in as a volunteer leader at the Community Leadership Program and Community Leadership Circles. And what has helped me is that this particular community leader has a group of more than 1.4 million members. But she did not know the group. But during the training of the Community Leadership Circles, she has been able to use the insights deeper. And now she's able to know her group much better. What has also come out is that she had an active membership of 400,000 people per month, but using the insights, she's been able to understand her group better. And just a week ago, she actually sent me the insights from her group, and she had an interaction of 4.1 million people in September only. And so this has been very helpful, because she told me just a few days ago that she had a big group, but she did not know it. But now she even knows the heartbeat of her group.
Wow. And through all of your stories, not all of which you've been able to share in this moment, I've heard about how you're really helping people through the community building work, also learn about people who are different from them. And it's one of the reasons why at Facebook we're investing so much in community building, is because we really want to be able to help people see each other's similarities as opposed to focusing on these differences, particularly given this kind of moment in history we're in. Tasha, you started your group specifically to address this issue, Be the Bridge. And I would love for you to share a little bit more about kind of how you're seeing people gain a deeper understanding of one another across lines of difference, and how you use the online presence to also strengthen kind of people's offline, real relationships as well.
Yeah. My name is Tasha Morrison, and I am the founder of Be the Bridge. And within Be the Bridge, we want to help equip people to have a transformative voice around the racial divide in our country. And so the way we do this is by creating resources and tools. But first, that community begins online. And so we wanted to create a space where people can feel safe, where it can be a healing space, where there's trust. And a lot of those trusting relationships turn into real life relationships. So our goal is to start people out online, but actually empower them to build community groups that we call Be the Bridge. And we give them the tools to do that. And so it's just some amazing things that have happened, because one of the things that Martin Luther King has said is that people fear each other because they don't know each other. And people don't know each other because they're not in community with one another. And one of the things when we talk about community, we're talking about building true, authentic relationships with people. And where our friendships begin, that's where our assumptions and our stereotypes end. And so this is the first step. It's not the only step, but this is our way of doing our little part to really have a transformative conversation around something so uncomfortable, so awkward, and so hard. And so this is not an easy conversation. And so when people come into our space, we have rules that you have to abide by. We've set up rules for people to follow so that they can really understand the discipline of listening in this space. Mm-hmm. That's really important. Understanding the difference of power dynamics. Those are some of the things that people learn. And we've just had some incredible stories. Some of my closest friends right now are people that I've built relationship through being a bridge builder. Mm-hmm. And we've had people that are really taking this work not just into their communities, but into their families. And so our goal is to really take this conversation from adults and also to create platforms and equipment, tools and resources for our children, for the next generation, for our teens, for our middle schoolers. Mm-hmm. That's how we continue this conversation, and that's how we really transform this world. Mm-hmm.
You know, Amber Heard earlier, a couple sessions ago, kind of really challenged all of us to kind of take this ownership and take the power it is that each one of us has to kind of make change. And all of you, each of you, and the other 100 members it is that'll join the Facebook Community Leadership Program really fundamentally believe in that, believe in the fact that it is people who can solve their own problems, and that your job is to be able to kind of create that platform for them. But we know this work can be hard and thankless and tiring and exhausting. And I know from knowing all of you that there have been moments that you've really asked yourself, or your wives asked you, or your moms asked you, why are you doing this? And what are you doing? And you're running a Facebook group. Can you help us understand kind of what sustains you in doing this? You can't tell people you run a nonprofit. You know, you run a Facebook group. Some people don't actually understand what it means to be running a community. And so through all of that, you guys have sustained and you keep going. And I know you're not going to give up. And would love to kind of end with you each sharing what keeps you going.
I think just for me, I am empowered by people. And so I keep going because I believe in this generation, and I also believe in the next generation. I believe in the humanity of our country. I believe, I have hope. Although this is a very painful experience when we talk about racial reconciliation, this is something that's been around, for centuries. And so I know that I may not see the fruit of complete racial unity, but while I'm here on this earth, I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna do my part. And so although, you know, even as you're sitting here and you're listening to me, you may even say that, you know, I've never done anything, my family this has nothing to do with me. It has something to do with everyone in here. You know, we didn't break it, you know, we didn't cause the mess, but it is our responsibility to repair the mess. And so each of us in this room, some of us have been benefactors of a systemic issue, and some of us have had barriers because of the systemic issue. And so because of this, I have hope when I look into the eyes of people that we can change, because I know people like Ken, who is in Baltimore, Maryland, who is bridging that racial divide with another African American leader from his community that grew up separately, but now they're coming together and they're joining forces and they're having these difficult conversations and they're bringing other people into that conversation. So I stay in this work and I'm sustained through the hope that I have.
That's awesome.
For me, it's about believing in yourself. I kept on asking myself as I was growing.
I've been saying her.
I'm still young, but as I was growing older, I kept on asking myself, what is the definition of believing in yourself? I have come to realize it just means that. Believe in yourself, do what is within your means to be able to do something. And just to add on that is the fact that others also get to believe in you. When you do believe in yourself, you give people the power to believe in yourself. As we are here this week, the second SDG is about ending and eliminating food insecurity. But this is something that has been discussed in boardrooms, high level, but nobody ever engages with the farmer. I'm very excited and still emotional that the fact that Facebook has been the organization that has brought a farmer from 5,000 miles away here as myself, because they believe not only in equipping us with the technology, the online platform, but also to work with us in be able to see how this is going to be successful. And so back to believing in yourself, I want to talk to the youth who are in agriculture, the young people who are looking at agriculture as a side thing. It is something that you can believe in and you can participate in ending food insecurity.
For me, it's really simple. You just have to ask to yourself the question, what makes me happy? And for me, it makes me happy to improve myself in contact with my members, because they are extraordinary people. 2 years ago, I was a tax lawyer in a Big Four in Paris, and I was a selfish guy. And now, seriously, each day I'm a better person because of my members. So they are my energy, and I'm not a leader, I'm just a builder, and I want to thank all of them.
Well, for me, nothing can be more beautiful and powerful than empowering other people. Together, we are so much more stronger, and I keep the dream of changing the world 1 year at a time. That's why I keep moving.
Awesome.
What keeps me going, this is especially hard for me because I have small kids, who seek my attention. And I'm on my phone and they're just like, mommy, 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 look at me. I'm like, I'm coming, give me 2 minutes. But what really keeps me going is that as a team, the entire BSIM team, that we're impacting the lives of so many breastfeeding parents and their children. Breastfeeding is essentially the foundation of life, and it reduces the odds of several health conditions, and research is still coming around that. So, on hard days, when I see a photo of a little baby that's like 650 grams, and the diaper looks really, the diaper is almost the size of the baby, and especially for an NICU baby, breast milk can save the baby's life. So then when that post is made and everyone comes together and this is how you can pump the milk, and this is how you can make sure you meet all the baby's needs with just breast milk, and this is the place you can get the pump from. That warm, woozy feeling is what really keeps me going. And I really believe that, with Facebook as a platform, like some years ago, you may not have been able to make a difference. You would wonder, you need an office space, you need a telephone, you need a website. But today, with Facebook groups, if anyone wants to make a difference, there's no excuse anymore. There's no excuse anymore.
And with that, we'll end. So thank you, everybody, for being part of this conversation.